which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good, okay. Any additions to the agenda or changes?
No, I don't have any.
Approval of minutes for September 17th and October 1 and claims. So approval of minutes.
So I'll make a motion to approve both September 17th and 10th, the last meeting to one meeting minutes.
Have a second.
Yeah, second.
Roll.
Ron Sanders, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tim Clark,
Yes.
Kevin Patrick,
Yes.
Okay. Next is
Claims.
claims.
Yeah, claims.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion on that because there are two minor issues with the claims. The total of 31 cents. So I didn't feel like not approving the claims, but I will make a motion to approve the claims contingent upon the updates on the two claims identified, one for the treasurer's office and the other one's for the sheriff's office.
That's fine. Second, I didn't catch it.
Hmm.
I didn't catch it.
Okay. Roll.
Tim Clark, how do you vote?
Yes.
Kevin Patrick,
Yes.
Ron Sanders,
Yes.
All right, the first new business is the owner occupied rehab grant. This is a $500,000 grant with a 10% matching. We applied and weren't selected in the third quarter, so it's an ongoing process. We're applying for the fourth. It opened October 14th. And first public hearing is going to be November, well, the only public hearing is going to be on November 12th at 5 o'clock and so. Teresa, you want to find a little more information on that?
if anybody had the QR code still works. It'll tell you all the grant information and give you the application. We do have a lot of the flyers out here on the tables. If anybody would like to take them to pass them around to people also, that would be great. And that's pretty much where we're at. We're just hoping we got the match correct now. So we're hoping that we've got some help. We have letters of support. Dwayne is gonna write us a letter of support. Sherry Mitchell said she would write us a letter of support. Those were items that were lacking in our last application. So hopefully that helps us.
So clarify though, all of the applications that were submitted in the last quarter will still be viable for this quarter.
Correct. Yes,
No redos. and
You
then
don't need to
accept
reapply.
additional ones.
we could just accept.
And remember how many that happened to be? Like 40 something?
It was between 30 and 40.
All right, next item. Health Department hot spa tub ordinance and food fees. Second reading. The ordinance is number 2025-10-01-000. Public and semi-public swimming pool and spa health ordinance. Any comments from the audience? Any, bring it back to the board here. Any comments from here? Okay. There is none. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the hot tub spa ordinance as presented.
There's a-
This has nothing to do with the fees or does that?
That's next.
That's next.
Have a second? Okay, I'll second. Roll call.
I'm hanging on just 1 second. I'm being told that volume needs to be turned up in here.
And while I go get
Waiting on this.
pieces.
Wait, no,
Coffee.
Kevin, come back in. It's not hard, not if you got enough to have a lid on it.
And I'll make sure that by volume work.
Always in place. Sorry about that.
I don't think you brought it up, baby.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I had a motion and a second to approve the public and semi-public swimming pool and health spa ordinance. Roll call.
Kevin Patrick, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ron Sanders,
Staying.
Tim Clark,
Yes. The next is ordinance 2025-10-01-001. That's the Health Department, Brown County fees. Food fees. Any questions from the audience on that one? No change, there were no changes since the first reading. Okay. Hearing none, I'll bring it back up to the board. Comments up here? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the food fees as presented.
Second. I'll approve.
Okay.
Second,
Ron Sanders, how do you vote?
No.
Tim Clark,
yes.
Kevin Patrick,
Yes.
Next item is the health, is Brown County, Indiana ordinance number 2025-10-01-002. An ordinance to create the policy intended to limit bed bug exposure. Any comments from the audience on that? Okay, hearing none, I'll bring it back up to the table.
Yeah. Health Department. You don't have to get up unless you want to answer.
Jennifer's
Wait.
online.
Jennifer's
Yeah,
online.
you need to, when you answer, you need to come to the podium and state your name. It's for the audience. They want to know who's speaking.
Jennifer Hiller's on Teams also, so she's speaking.
Since the last time, now, I got my information from Google, so, I researched it somewhat. And the bed bug thing is, we heard that you had one complaint. Okay, and as of yesterday, when we checked, you didn't have anything in writing. There wasn't a written complaint. But evidently today, there was a written complaint added. Is it a written complaint or was it an email? Do you have a form? Do you have policies that you follow? Does it have to be in writing?
I'll defer to Jennifer Heller on this one.
Michael?
Referring to me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we do have a complaint process. We have a written form. We also have a complaint. You can complain online. We have a way that you can complain on our website. This one happened to come in as an email complaint. So it was sent to our general health department email box and it was forwarded to the environmental staff.
Does that qualify as a written complaint?
It would to me. I don't know. It's typed in and it's sent in an email.
Well, studying the bed bug thing, unless they have actually had a doctor or they're in the extermination business, you're basically taking the word of somebody that was at the motel over a licensed exterminator, professional. I don't believe anybody from the health department viewed it or looked at it. There can be a lot of things that, I read the complaint and it is somewhat different. And it does basically describe what you would consider bed bugs. But as of yesterday, and looking at Google, dirt and filth has nothing to do with it. Bed bugs are typically hitchhikers. The people staying, now, they said they checked the room when they first come in and found them. So that's a little different too. But like I said, bed bugs are hitchhikers. They're known, like if you get in a taxi or something that can get in your suitcase, the people could have actually brought them in with them. But it don't sound like that was the case here. People will mistake bed bugs for chiggers, ticks, fleas. And if these motels allowed animals in them, you know, that could be a problem too, that it could have come from the animals. But, you know, we received more information today than what we had yesterday. But I would like a follow-up on whether or not that is considered a legal complaint. So either one of you have anything to say?
No, I just know that the ordinance so the concern that was in the ordinance the last time around was the disposal of mattresses, even when we had present a few of the people that actually do bed and breakfast along with tourist homes and things of that nature. So I think the concern wasn't necessarily that wasn't dealing with the issue of wanting to address bed bug issues if they were reported. It was a matter of how it was being dealt with. And I understand from last time when we had the conversation that the health department had no authority in basically following up on the complaint because they had no legal means to operate in that environment. And that's why they went the path of looking at an ordinance for this. So am I right about that, Jennifer, or not?
Yes, Dr. Conley felt that we did not have a legal way to close the establishment or to follow up on the fact that there were bed bugs located there. They did have the area cleaned. We do have copies of the invoice from the pest control company that treated their rooms.
And so, and the process of treatment, what did they ever identify what they were treating the rooms for?
You asked me that and I didn't bring the invoices with me. I'm sorry, I don't know, but it was pretty specific to the treatment. I don't know if it said bed bugs, but they did treat all the rooms. I'm sure it did, but I'd have to look that up.
So at least through the process of working with them, they shared information that they actually went through and actually treated, or at least believe they were treated for bed bugs.
Yes, we asked them to provide us invoices from a pest control operator once it was treated. And we didn't threaten them to shut them down or charge them any fees or anything. We just asked for copies of the invoices that we'd had a complaint. And so they did follow up with a pest control operator and have the rooms treated and then provided us with copies of the invoice.
Okay. So in this particular situation, compliance was full-throated.
With all that, I'd make a motion to table until we see from the pest control people if they found bed bugs. And I'd like to know from our legal side if the complaint filed qualifies for a written complaint.
Okay, I guess we can just ask, Mike, could you address the written complaint issue that Ron brought up? I don't know what a legal complaint is, if somebody's filing. And Jennifer, I assume that you validated that the email person, whoever sent you, do an email.
Did we recontact them? Yeah, we recontacted them, told them we would be investigating the complaint.
And so you're confident that the email was legitimate, the person filing the complaint was legitimate, just wasn't an anonymous email?
Well, it's pretty much like any complaint we get, you know, we get people calling us and giving us a complaint and we follow up on it. That's our standard policy.
Ron, I guess my issue here is it's not, it's a preventative action. In this case, the operator voluntarily volunteered to treat the particular room, but they didn't have to do that. And so as a preventive action, if you get this kind of thing, this ordinance gives the health department at least authority to investigate the complaint.
Are you up there, Mike Moga?
Yes. So in terms of, go ahead, Ron.
I just was wondering if you would consider that an official complaint on, you know, the health department is responsible. I believe their policy says something to the effect that the complaint has to be in writing. Would the email be considered in writing legally?
So speaking towards the ordinance and what it's going to be going forward, it says nothing about it having to be in writing. What it says is if a complaint is filed or there is reason to believe that a potential contamination exists in a lodging establishment, the health department shall be tasked with conducting an inspection. So the point of the ordinance was to give the authority and discretion to the health department on whether or not they believe that a complaint or any other reason leads to an actual probable belief that there is a contamination.
Yeah.
So we're leaving the authority to the health department on that, and how they want to handle complaints, written complaints, oral complaints, and things like that.
Do you think looking at the pest controls information would be a wise thing to do or not? To see if
I
it
think-
identified there was bed bugs.
Well, similar to other complaints that they have now outside of bed bugs, we leave the health department their own discretion to determine whether or not there is a probable belief that a health issue exists or some kind of issue to the environment exists. So I feel that the way the ordinance is drafted right now leaves the status quo to what they have in terms of authority on complaints.
Okay, have a motion to table. Is there a second? You're done. Entertain another motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bed bug ordinance with the revisions to include the added section 6H, addressing the concerns with regards to replacement of mattresses.
Did you read that, Kevin? 6A?
6H.
I can. Just says the addition, if the mattress is soiled or infected as a result of the contamination, the health department may order it to be discarded. That was the change from the first reading.
It went from will to may.
Yeah. Okay. Have a motion to approve. There's no second. I'll second the motion. Roll call.
Tim Clark, how do you vote?
Yes.
Kevin Patrick,
Yes.
Ron Sanders,
No.
Next item is library board appointment. We have one letter of interest from James Rosenberry, recommended by the library board. James, you want to say a few words?
If you want me to.
Yeah, you get to be famous.
You have a letter of interest from me?
We all got an email.
Thank you for considering my letter.
James, can you do me a favor? Can you see if that mic is on?
Raise up, yeah, that's one of our biggest complaints.
It may, now it is.
Can you raise it up because you're a very tall guy, so.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Anyway, I appreciate you considering my application. I'm not going to just go over the whole thing, but I'm recently retired, and even a year or so ago when I was planning that, I know I wanted to do some community work. And one of the ones that had came to my mind is I'd really like to volunteer for the library. So as far as any qualifications, I don't know what's the qualification, but I have had a library card since I was 6 years old. Books are very important to me, and I think what the library does is important. I attended one of their meetings at their invitation, and they have a lot of things going on, what with even some of the grants, some of the federal things that are going on and that might affect their funding. And I think it might be something I'd be able to help them with. So,
Thank you, James. Appreciate your interest. All right, folks, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Kevin Patrick, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ron Sanders,
Yes.
Tim Clark,
Yes. Congratulations.
thank you.
Thank you. Next item is vote center resolution. Comments, Mark?
Gentlemen, I'm Mark Williams, Chairman of the Election Board. The Election Board over these past several months has been engaged along with our study committee in determining whether a vote center vote centers were feasible and desirable for Brown County. And it was determined that they were through 3 public meetings. Early on, the presentation of a vote center plan and comments thereafter. All written comments were in favor, and all comments at our public meetings were in favor of vote centers, save one. And we developed a vote center plan, which was ordered by the election board and approving it by the unanimous vote of the election board on October the 1st, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners and the county council. We submitted the final order of the election board to you in advance. I know that Mr. Mocha found an immaterial typo on the first page, and that's been corrected. I will say that two of the big problems the counties have with vote centers are that there is either at the election board level a lack of consensus. I will say that the study committee and the election board was a effort that involved both Democrats and Republicans and independents. Everything that we did moved along on a consensus basis, and it was unanimously approved. And I think that part of the reason for that was that we started out in the beginning in a way that took everyone into account. Another reason that that vote centers fail is that there is sometimes an additional expenditure connected with vote centers. And in this case, the additional expenditures that we had to make vote centers more efficient were all covered by the grant from the state of Indiana. All the equipment that we have is in place, paid for by the state of Indiana and piloted by Brown County. The equipment that we have are printers that are ballot on demand printers, so that when a voter presents their ID to the clerks at the vote center, and that ID is checked through the electronic poll book. The electronic poll book is connected to the ballot printer, and an individual ballot will be printed for that voter at that time. If the voter wants to vote on the Freedom Vote machine, then nothing changes. The little ticket ballot comes out. So we're saying we didn't cost the equipment didn't cost any extra. Also this year, the General Assembly approved a statute which allows in early voting, in-person early voting, if someone uses, in our case, the Freedom Vote machine and the machine that they create the ballot themselves and create their votes, that can be run through by the voter through the tabulator at the time the voter votes. So that would speed up early voting to a great extent, because the voters that do that won't be involved with creating envelopes and storing envelopes and all that sort of thing, which caused us such a problem in the last election. We purchased additional Freedom Vote machines, anticipating that there may be a higher demand for that because the voter can save a lot of time. That was all covered by the state grant. Because we're using the ballot printers and we use them in early voting as well, we won't incur a tremendous printing cost of ballots that are never used. And the only thing that they do is when at the end of the election, they sit around for several months according to law and then they're destroyed. Because we'll have the stock, but we'll be making the ballots as we go. And we won't incur that cost. And then finally, with respect to the primary and with respect to election day, the net reduction of poll workers will be 50 using vote centers versus precincts, and that's under the new configuration if we had 10 precincts. There are 2 poll centers or 2 vote centers that have to be opened for the each one vote center has to be open for each of the 2 final Saturdays of early voting, in addition to the main early voting center. So that will tie up additional workers. But the net is that we will have 22 fewer poll workers, and therefore the county will be spending its cash for 22 less poll workers through a primary and general election cycle.
So I've got a question for you, Mark, on
Yes.
that. With regards to the Saturdays, is that specific to vote center structure, or is that common across, or was that a recent change across
Well,
all of them?
that's a requirement of the vote center
Okay.
structure.
All right.
And what we've done is one of those Saturdays, the vote center at Helmsburg Elementary School will be
Uh-huh.
open. And the other Saturday, the vote center at Van Buren School will be open. And then together with the early voting center at the fairgrounds, we will, I think, do a nice job of catching the county for early voting.
Yeah.
We're going to utilize the schools. The school board and the superintendent were great to work with. We'll utilize the schools. They're all ADA compliant. And we utilize the Church of the Lakes up in the northern corner because there's such a big population center there. And so many of those folks on their daily commutes go north rather than come south. That'll be 5 vote centers. And we think that we've got the county covered very well.
So just another point is that in seeing that it's from a staffing standpoint, so the only differences I saw from that from a voting center standpoint was 2 additional poll clerks
Yes,
and 2 additional judges. Correct?
yes.
Okay.
No, there'll be just the additional.
Just 2 clerks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be 9 at the vote center and 7 at a regular precinct. I've submitted we've submitted a proposed resolution for the Board of Commissioners to sign. That has to be attached to the final poll center plan if you approve. That will go to the state election division. And I'd be happy to answer whatever questions you all may have.
Well, you answered one for me that says it's not really gonna cost us anymore. It's probably gonna pay $2,200 or something.
Yeah, it will save, I think it's fair to say, it will save, sure, $1,000, but it will save at least that much more in reduced printing and waste of unused ballots.
I don't know what anybody in the audience is gonna say, but the people I've talked to seem to all think this is the way to go.
We do too.
You know,
I'm very proud of the plan that the team put together.
I believe the glitch in the beginning was the cost of the machines. And I believe the clerk got was it a grant?
Yes.
And took care of that. So as far as I know, I don't see a problem, but I still like to hear from the other commissioners and people in the audience.
Hey, Mark, I know another advantage was the provisional ballots. Because anybody can go to any voting centers and vote. That's a biggie. And I think just a convenience. I think we had half of the people showed up in the county, half the voters showed up to vote early voting. And that's at Eagle Park, which is in the middle of the county.
Yes.
And by having, the 5 voting centers, it makes it more convenient for anybody to vote. Just makes it a lot more easier to communicate, easier to vote, reduces provisional ballots and makes it easy to everybody.
It makes it, certainly it reduces provisional ballots, and the saddest thing is if someone comes in right under the wire and they want to vote and they drove like crazy to get there and they're at the wrong precinct and they expect to get to the right precinct. Those days would be gone. And in combination with the new space that you all have allowed us for the clerk's satellite office for early voting, where we have some more room, and there'll be lots of room at the 2 vote centers that we would use for those 2 Saturdays in early voting. All of that confusion in early voting should be greatly reduced.
Well, I appreciated the depth of the planning that was required. I appreciate you getting that to us as soon as you could. We sent that to Mike. He reviewed it, sent us the code. We compared, well, I did anyway, compared the code against what your plan is. It's very thorough. I know we tried this a couple of years ago. It was kind of rushed. We thought it was being easy decisions, kind of rushed and had a lot of pushback, but you guys fixed all that. Very collaborative, a lot of public meetings, very transparent, and addressed people's concerns. So kudos on you guys.
The other one thing that come up was people, I remember when you got that many places to vote, a lot of people vote on the way going to work. I just hope there's no backup there that holds people up from voting.
Well, we've got, number one, we have a lot more space. Number 2, the voting areas are configured to facilitate speed. We have the additional 2 clerks that will be involved in initialing the ballots. So we'll have a set of clerks that will get the ballots from the ballot printers, or they will direct voters to the Freedom Vote machines. And then we have another set of clerks that is be their responsibility to make sure that the ballots are initial, whether it's a regular ballot or a Freedom Vote ballot. So that extra step and having those 2 additional clerks, I think will speed the process up a lot.
Good.
So I think the thing that my concern was always that having this many precincts that we had and having to vote in that precinct was always the disenfranchisement of people who, again, showed up at the polls and they were at the wrong voting location. So I think that's a big part of that, because I've seen some of that in having worked the polls. I don't know what, anecdotally, I'd say there's probably 50% of the provisional ballots were cast because of that. Other reasons, like, didn't have proper identification or didn't have it updated or address incorrect. I did notice in the actual plan themselves that and I don't know if this is new or not, and I don't know if this is new, but there's an opportunity in there for them to actually go through and update their voter information as far as like address information, things of that nature.
They could always do that.
Okay. I didn't know if
For the, there are some nuanced rules, but they can always do that.
Okay. All right.
I've had one instance where somebody got disenfranchised. I went to try and vote out toward Gnawbone. They said First Church on the right. Well, there's multiple churches out there on the right. And they come back up to Parkview and they said, heck, I said, I'll take you out there. So I ended up giving someone a ride. That was one in all of the years. Most people in Brown County can usually get to where they gotta go.
Yeah, they can get where they want to go if they have time.
Well, then making locations, it's the schools, makes it a little easier to communicate locations.
Makes it easier, nice parking lot, well lit, election day in the morning, you got to worry about that. It's, you know, well lit. All the doors are able to handle wheelchairs. We don't have that now. With the old precincts, this is just a better way, I think, to make voting available to everyone.
Questions more from up here? We'll open up the audience.
Open up to audience.
Comments from the audience?
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
My pleasure.
Nice job.
Thank you, Amy Oliver. I am a member of the school board and I participated with Mr. Williams on the Voc Center committee. And I just wanted to let everybody know it was a collaborative process. I think I was really pleased that we were all contributing and participating in it. And I think the plan is good because of that. We all got an opportunity to kind of put in the piece that we know the best about and to really, as you know, it's a pretty long plan. So as far as, you know, getting the wording down and everything we needed to do. As a school corporation, we're very happy to participate in making sure people can vote. So one other key provision of this is that the schools will be closed on election days so that there could be a concern that somebody could be getting into a school through voting while children are there. So one of the things that we had to work out was to make sure we worked our schedule for the next couple of years so that the schools would be closed on election day. I think we may end up having teachers in the building who are doing professional development that day, but we will not have children. So that was a big piece of it. And we also, of course, are probably the most handicapped accessible buildings, the best well-lit buildings in the county, and everyone knows where we are. You don't have to worry about which church it is because, you know, we have the 4 schools. I want to thank Kevin too for helping us find an early voting spot downtown.
That's Mr. Sanders.
Well,
there.
between all of you, that was our biggest challenge, really, was finding a place, again, that met all of the many requirements that we needed to have and to keep everything secure. And I'm hopeful that after you make the changes to the space that we identified at the fairgrounds, that we will have a really nice space that will be permanent, that we don't have to search for a new place every 2 years. And, you know, we'll be able to just build it and have it be, you know, improve it every time. So anyway, I just want to thank you all, you know, for considering this and the work that you did on it, because I think it's important that we're all working towards the same goal. And that is to make sure it's as easy as it can be for voters to vote and that they have that opportunity to vote. So thank you.
Thank you. Very.
Hi, I'm Sherry Frank with the League of Women Voters, and I also participated in the study committee. And as you know, we are very interested in making sure that people can vote. So I was really pleased with all the work that the election board and the study committee members did, and that the school made the buildings available. I think that's a huge difference, as Amy and Mark both said, that it makes it very handicap accessible. And I second pretty much everything else that was said. The only thing I would add is that I'm also very appreciative that the election board chose to offer 5 vote centers that cover the county pretty well, because the law allows a lot less. And I think I'm just really pleased that the 5 have been selected to provide coverage for everybody. And we've already talked about how important it is not to disenfranchise people for going to the wrong place. So I think it's a win-win.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you, Sharon.
Any other comments? Bring it up to the board.
Make a motion to approve the vote center resolution.
I think we have to read the resolution name and number first.
And that.
It's resolution number 2025-10-15-001. A resolution approving the designation of Brown County, Indiana as a vote center county and approving the Brown County final vote center plan as unanimously approved by the Brown County Election Board by order dated October 1, 2025. Now we may have a motion.
Made a motion to approve the vote center resolution.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Ron Sanders, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tim Clark,
Yes.
Evan Patrick,
Yes.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yes.
As soon as I can get a signed copy of that, I will give it to the clerk.
Good.
Trust me, she'll be pounding on our doors to get
I'm
it.
trying to avoid that agony.
It's ours.
Appreciate the consideration.
Thank you.
Okay, last item on this one is the job descriptions. We have 5, Teresa.
yeah, 5.
Let's introduce the list. We have others.
No, do we have them?
They're down here.
Some job descriptions, how that works is, all our positions, the commissioners own the descriptions. The responsibilities, we link them to the statute pretty much, and then the descriptions of the particular job. Then it goes to the county council to fund it, to classify those positions and determine what the funding level ought to be. That leads to the salary. So that's how it all comes together. So it's kind of a pretty good check and balance on power. And so we approved a bunch of them, probably 95% of them a few months ago. I forget the exact date. But then we had a few stragglers, a few last minute changes, and these things kind of can be dynamic. We may change 1 or 2 during the year, whatever. So it's not, it's kind of a normal way of normal process. So we've got, you kind of want to read those?
Yeah, we have the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator from the Health Department. The Office and Plan Manager for the Prosecutor's Office. Now, and then we had 3 that we kind of divided up and did things with. So you have the Commissioner's Administrative Specialist, which is myself. You guys added a few jobs to that. Then we have the Compensation Employee Benefit Manager, who also took on some added duties. And the Clerical Support Floater, which would be an employee that could go to all the other offices when special needs projects or busy times of year come around.
I recall, I think I've read about having versions of.
Yeah,
Change
yeah,
I've read on
yeah.
these, but the emergency planning coordinator and the office planner, that was almost identified
Right away.
as almost right away.
Yeah, those were discrepancies in the revisions that the elected officials noted when we were going through the job descriptions.
I remember those. On the other one, on the commissioner's assistant, what we ended up doing is we re-engineered a position. And what, I guess historically what's happened is the auditor's office has been responsible not only for the timekeeping, but historically they've also added the responsibility for linking it all to the benefits. So you had one person doing the end-to-end. And then it got split between one person doing timekeeping, another person doing the benefits section, and then there were
Onboard.
onboarding, and then there were misconnects. And you had a lot of hands in the till, and you either missed something or you didn't. We either validated bills or we didn't. They either got the information the health agencies did or they didn't. So it's kind of a difficult process to manage. So we streamlined that. We took the one position, the second position we had in the commissioner's office, we were going to call it a personnel specialist, but we looked at it, we said, we split it up. So we took all those tasks historically in the past were with the auditor and took those tasks and assigned it to this new position on the compensation benefits specialist. And then that didn't leave a full-time job for us. And we didn't quite know, how to fill that slot, but lo and behold, we had a lot of demand, a lot of actions that we needed support for, a lot of detail, a lot of auditing on different contracts and you name it. And so we reinstated that position kind of half-time, and also we wanted to encourage resource sharing. So we may not need a full-time position all the time. So we added the floater, and I guess that's a legitimate name in state personnel practices, is a floater. We call it, I like Kevin's term, is resource sharing.
I think we should change the name, but that's another day.
So, when offices are short a different person, we just found a unique person that's willing to go to kind of any department, learn new skills, more than just answer from the phone, but learn more skills and help out when needed. And we have different periods of time where there's a surge in work and a little different, organizations, and this helps do that one. So it's kind of our first experiment with using a floater. And so far I think it's working out pretty well. So we'll see. So that was the two positions. And then Teresa's changed because we shifted a lot of those, some of the responsibilities we retained for the commissioners, which is per our required by statute, and then the others were kind of shifted down. So yours was just pin and ink change and maybe at the top.
We audited the 3 positions to make sure that we didn't miss any pieces, so.
And we ran it through this legal, we ran it through personnel specialists, we ran it through a lot. We've had, I don't know, Julie, 6, 7, 8 different versions as we worked through all the detail and make sure everybody understood how we fixed the disconnects between the two. So that was the 3 positions that were responsible. Again, those go back to the council. They assess it on the classification and pay levels, and then it ends up in the salaries. So that's where this stuff comes from. Questions?
Joey, do you remember back during COVID? I believe we actually had a floater back then. Worked out of the commissioner office. Wasn't, before the commissioner's office got restructured. They didn't consider the person that was up front when I first come in,
She went down to answer phones and things.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of maybe.
Michelle.
Michelle, yeah, yes.
I thought we had one before somewhat, but she ended up pretty much in the commissioner office. So
Yes. But if somebody downstairs needed her to fill in, then she would go down there and fill in, yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion here? On this particular issue?
Name's Christina Sykes. I live and work in this county. I pay taxes over here. All my opinions are mine alone. Refresh my memory on this, because I know, Tim, that you had just mentioned, like, there's been several different versions of some of these job descriptions, but in developing these job descriptions, is this something that we developed exclusively at the county level, or did we have an outside agency assisting with this? I want to say I recall a previous meeting where maybe WIS was involved in some job descriptions.
They review all our job descriptions and make suggestions.
Okay, so did they review these job
Yes, they
descriptions?
did.
Yes.
And do we pay like a flat fee for them to do that whenever we need that, or was that a fee that the county had to pay for?
It's a standing engagement letter. The standing service they offer, and then we get billed for the time they spend on.
Okay, do we know how much time they spent on this, or what that costs the county to do that?
I don't have that information.
Anybody know?
Probably haven't received the bill yet.
Okay,
Well,
Depends on,
I think we did. I mean, we did this back in February, Julie. So it was a project for job description. So this falls underneath that project category from February.
It stays with that actual bill.
yeah, the only reason that I asked that question is because I've done a little bit of like, citizen research of my own, because job descriptions are public and you can go to the auditor's office and request any job description. But my question would be, in job descriptions, it includes the minimum qualifications. So how are we ensuring that we're getting our bang for the buck in regards to paying a third party to help develop these if we're not referencing like current ones?
I don't understand. The question is, we define the description, the tasks and the tasks that we require out of an individual.
Right.
Those are, that's the description of a job. The
But doesn't
pay-
it include the minimum qualifications though?
It does.
Descriptions automatically.
It identifies skills, knowledge, and abilities.
So are there some exceptions to that, or is that written in stone? Because what I'm finding is in some of my research I've done that we have folks in positions that don't meet the minimum qualifications. So, in turn, I'm like, why are we paying the service to develop these and we're taking taxpayer dollars to change job descriptions.
That's off topic. Kind of explain the process. We write the description, county council, we have the same, consultant assesses those for salary levels, and then the department heads are responsible for supervising those positions. So if you're dealing with personnel issues or whatever, that's kind of
I'm
off
just saying,
subject.
not off subject, I'm just saying tax dollars. I mean, what is the board doing to make sure that those funds are not being wasted? Like, what are we doing? I know previously, you know, we had brought up job descriptions and you had said that you don't read them all. So my question is, you know, where's our checks and balances from the board on that?
The checks and balances come from the actual individual department heads and the elected officials that are in that organization to review.
What if the department heads don't meet the minimum qualifications?
Based on whose standards. So Christine, we allow 3 minutes. Your bedtime is up, so thank you for your comments. Any other concerns or questions? Okay. Back to the table here. Have a motion. Any other issues up here? Have a motion?
I just got one of them today. I know the person up front, the floaters, had went back and forth, and Kevin had made some adjustments on it, and you had agreed to that, and but I just got the hard copies today. Yeah.
Motion, Kevin?
I'll make a motion that we approve the job description as presented.
I'll second. Roll call?
Tim Clark, how do you vote?
Yes.
Kevin Patrick, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ron Sanders, how do you vote?
No,
All right, service contracts. Kevin, county buildings, the cleaning contract?
So can you present aisle, please? The bottom.
Not sure.
So we went through the exercise back in, geez, seems like so long ago. September, going through and creating an RFP and putting that RFP out and got responses. And we were originally going to basically have a decision on our September 17th. And the day that we presented or the proposals that came forth, we allowed individuals to do individual buildings or do all buildings, multiples of buildings.
so that's a good.
So in that, you'll see the result of that. The tasks at the top, cleaning and bathrooms are specifically identified by the location along with the cleaning tasks. And then down at the bottom are all those vendors who participated in that. And you'll see that we only had one particular company that went through the exercise of making a proposal to clean all the facilities. And so process is in this process, since it's above the dollar figure, we have to basically go with the service that provides us with the best value or the lowest price. And in this situation, we went item by item and building by building. And that all seemed to come from First Choice Cleaning and LLC. So their recommendation or the procedure will be going forward, or I recommend that we go forward with the First Choice Cleaning.
Because they met all the checklists. Not everybody could bid or take the whole job.
Sorry.
Not everybody could do all the jobs.
Well, everybody could have quoted any of them. They could have made a
But they
choice,
did.
but they
Right.
didn't.
Right.
It's not because they didn't quote all the jobs. It was simply that if you look at the numbers there was only one of them that was, one of the actual office buildings were less than, but when we combined them to the two, the building was the same, meaning the VSO office and Parks and Recs, the combined value was still more than what was being proposed by Owner's
The only
Choice.
thing, I don't have a problem with this is, that's the only thing was you said we had to take the lowest bid.
We
We
do.
don't always take the lowest bid.
In this particular situation, because we're in the services area and it's over value.
Like I said, I don't have an issue with it. We looked at it yesterday and it made sense.
Yeah.
It was actually a savings, I believe.
It is. The last time, the last contractor was basically charging us $7,200 and some odd dollars per month for cleaning all our facilities.
I was trying not to say that.
I said
Public record.
savings. I said savings. Well, it's public record.
So it is a savings because the current contract as it would be issued is $5,800 a month for all facilities. So my recommendation is to proceed with issuing a contract or getting or accepting the First Choice Cleaning and issuing a contract to them for the cleaning services.
Is there any, are we gonna ask the audience for anything? We're just gonna vote on it or what? Somebody got something?
Me and my partner are Ashley and Carrie, or Carrie and Ashley's
Yeah.
cleaning. And we were thinking we could probably be able to do all the buildings, but the price would be around 85. That's.
Right.
That's something to consider. I don't know.
So the way that this process works is that we receive the bids, and in order for us to go back and consider any additional bids or changes, we'd have to reject all of them.
Okay, that's fine.
So
Okay, thank you.
unfortunately, it's not the private sector. I can't come to you and negotiate
Oh,
that path.
all right.
That's why it takes the
Right, 'cause we were just.
process of
Yeah.
preferred vendors out of it.
Well, at the time, we didn't bid for all of them because we were kind of told that bidding for all of them looks crazy because the other person had trouble doing all of them all the
Yeah.
time.
And unfortunately, well, so when I went through the exercise and actually spoke with First Cleaning, their staff, they're saying their staff to accomplish that cleaning service.
If you have any issues, give us a call.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
And just an example, kudos to Kevin. I mean, this is truly another collaborative process. We got, notice that they were going to terminate the contract, had less than 30 days. And so Kevin reached out to all the departments and asked for their assessment on what they wanted, what they weren't getting, what they needed, and including the times, the frequency, the locations, the quality of service that they wanted, you name it. And it led to, a lot of labor hours went into this spreadsheet. And so he's very thorough, a lot of coordination, a lot of time. I don't have any versions of the ordinance of this process.
A few.
But quite a few, and went back with legal, and there's ins and outs on the amount of money and all that kind of stuff that Kevin kind of alluded to. So kudos on that one. It's a lot of hard work and got it. So any other comments from the audience?
I believe that we're going to create a contract and have these people sign it.
Correct.
So if for some reason they don't sign the contract, it might give a bid.
And how would we?
Can you contact them?
I will, I'll contact.
Commissioner's assistant is going, you contact everybody.
Bridges or anything, because you know, I'm great.
Yes.
You will contact everybody.
Yeah.
And we appreciate everybody bidding. It's, I know it took a lot of time, and you did the research, did the tours and all that. So appreciate you being here tonight also. And then on contracts, that's another area of improvement that we had to make. Our contracts, we didn't have a kind of a set format for contracts. And so, we worked through that, been updating a lot of contracts, have a standard formats. That'll be applied to this particular contract as well. So to make sure that, we get what we contract for. So hearing all that, have a motion.
So I'll go back and reiterate my motion. My motion was to basically accept this proposal and present and proceed forward with issuing a contract to First Choice Cleaning LLC.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Kevin Patrick, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tom Sanders,
Yes.
Tim Clark,
Yes. Okay, Teresa, anything?
yes, I have things. I received a call from the town clerk today, and she wants to confirm that the tradition of having trees and the sleigh on the courthouse lawn for the holidays is okay with the commissioners.
So this is just a continuation of regular decorations that we've done every year for, at end.
Correct.
I just,
So let's,
the judge is probably okay with it, but let's just,
I emailed her.
She's
She was
good?
fine with it. And I wanted,
what about the little nativity scene that's around the back? Is that gonna be?
that is not a county property owned item or anything, so
Hmm.
I don't know who put that out there or where it came from, but it's not ours.
Okay. Well,
So I will formalize this and make a motion that we proceed with allowing the town to decorate the courthouse as it has been done in the past.
Second.
Ron Sanders,
Yes.
Tim Clark,
Yes.
Kevin Patrick.
Yes.
On that note, she wanted me to reiterate that, the dollars to do those trees are donated. So if anybody wants to donate any money towards the Christmas or the trees on the lawn, please speak with the town clerk. Okay. I wanted to make note that the EMA meeting that was yesterday for tomorrow, scheduled for tomorrow, is being moved to November 14th. I put it on the website. It's on the alert bar so that people know. Also, I wanted to remind everyone that tomorrow at 6 p.m. is the Energy Saver grant discussion with Kevin Allen.
They don't have nothing to do, that's the,
Separate.
the big one.
That's just, yeah, that's separate from the
Right,
OR.
it up when you're finished with everything, explain that again.
I think I got it.
Yeah. I wanted to let everybody know that.
Thank you.
We got notified that our second order of bricks is ready and Dwayne will be going to pick those up. Wanted to let the employees know that the 2026 benefit guide is on the website and in the tech drive. And you guys had wanted the chairs in the back that were stained and ripped out of our office, and we stole the ones that Julie had extra out of her office. So we have 10 chairs in the back of the room that you were going to give away to the public. Are you still wanting to do that?
Sure with that.
Okay, so people can take a rolling chair back there if they want.
I don't know, man. Those are kind of nice for the public to sit in.
They're ripped and stained, Ron. They're gross.
They're bad.
Yeah,
They got bed bugs.
I don't know about bed bugs, but I know they're, yeah.
I like them better than these, to be honest. I thought they was far more comfortable. See, I can't sit right.
Yeah, that's because you're sitting too low there.
That's your opinion. That's
I just want to know if you still want to get rid of the chairs.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So do we need?
So we
to
did
vote
that
on
in a
it?
public meeting, Kevin, but
Okay, we need to vote on it.
Yes, I will make a motion that we make available to the public the chairs that we have in the offices.
And people can come to the
And
commissioner's office.
Pick out of them what they choose. And no fee.
Second.
well,
Tim Clark,
yes.
Kevin Patrick,
Yes.
Ron Sanders.
Yes.
As it sounds minor, but it's a legal requirement that we make a public notification of what's available. We just can't
Right.
shove them out the door.
I also wanted to let any employees, listening know that the wellness program forms, need to start coming in. It is the end of the year, so those, if they need, somebody needs a copy of it, that's also on the tech drive. That's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Kevin, any highlights from the highway department?
So I think that basically the only thing that really needs to highlighted from the highway department is that they are meeting with Milestone. That contract was finalized. They have a meeting set up to go through and start discussing the schedule for paving at Grandma Barnes and Grandview and 400 in Sawmill. The other big thing that's coming out of that is there's been 2 submissions that Eric has already put in the system for CCMG. It's Bridge 20, which is, again, Hoover and Gatesville, that area. So that's been submitted. And then there's been a second submission. You have to do 2 separate ones. One is for paving, and the paving is Hasstown, Short Chute, and which one? No. This is completely different.
Oh.
Hold on.
Can,
No, don't say that word. Give me a second.
Covered Bridge Road didn't make it, did it?
No, it didn't. I know that he's gotten some repair and dig outs, but I don't know if it's on covered bridge. Give me a second. Bridge crew excavating.
John, please.
So,
For the soft
Go
copy.
to paving. Milestone contractors meeting, sorry, I have it memorized on the back of my hand. Hastown, Mount Zion, and Short Shoot. Those are the three. So two of those you raised the issue with of being significant in need of repair. So that's where the remaining dollars on the $1 million CCMG is going to go towards.
We had come up 20%.
Yeah, so we have gone, so CCMG matching, the program's changed. So it's gone from 75, or it's gone from them doing 75 and us 25 to now them doing 80 and us doing 20. But the actual sum of funds available has gone down and it's now more extremely competitive in order to get into that program. So we'll see.
Sell it, Kevin.
Yeah, well, and then again, just a reiteration, the bridge inspection cycle has started, thanks to Aegis. So hopefully that's what is it, 84 bridges, Kevin?
I can give you a comment if you want.
Yeah, please, real quick.
Folks on the bridge inspection, we're inspecting all 84 in October. Check this week's paper. There's an article on that in there.
Okay. Kevin Allen with Aegis. Yes, so the Federal Highway Safety Program, the federal bridge inspections, requires that all counties and all states in the United States do a 4-year inspection cycle of all bridges. That's all structures over 20 feet. Doing an intensive, thorough inspection, then come back 2 years later, do a follow-up. For that first inspection, we find things we recommend: maintenance, cleaning, repairs, repost signs, check load ratings. I came in here, back mid-August with a supplemental because they changed the regulations. So there are some bridges that will get inspected annually. And I don't think you don't have any in this county, but there are bridges throughout the state that are county bridges that actually we have to bring a diver on to check the footings in some larger rivers. So that's what's ongoing. I think I got an update from Al Westling, our project director, project manager on that. He did send some photos to Eric where we found a few things minor. I won't step on Eric's toes and go into it, but there's communication going back and forth with Eric about some things our crews are finding. Minor thing like someone had knocked a sign over or something, a load rating sign. So it's ongoing. I think we're about between half and 2/3 of the way through. Weather's been great. We're not having to get waders out and, dive.
Weed the creeks.
The creeks are low, so we're getting good exposure on the substructures and foundations that we can access. So things are progressing on that.
Thank you.
Want to say anything about the grant stuff while you're up there?
Yes,
Let me do one thing. So to close that out.
close that out.
One last thing. So the only other thing which will be coming out in the paper, because it's something that we signed in the last meeting, is the yearly bids for various materials: stone, sand, oil, tires, tubes, and those kinds of things. So if there are anyone listening or interested in looking at preparing or participating in that bid process, the details will be available, and the process is going to has to be finished before the end of the year. Thank you. Go ahead, Kevin.
You ready?
Energy saving.
Energy savings.
You may have heard this before. Aegis is the state administrator on a federal program where, under the previous administration, the Inflation Reduction Act distributed funds across all 50 states to help residents reduce their energy consumption. Indiana was in the neighborhood of $182 million. Aegis is the administrator for that. I looked at that a couple days ago. We're getting good participation in a few counties. Brown County has made a few applications. Please revisit the website. We got an update just this week, so it is much clearer on what you can do and can't do with the federal money. And In Jay County, for instance, Jay County was successful in getting the OOR grant. So there are things that you can do in the OOR grant, such as ADA accessibility, roof structural repairs, that you cannot do with the home energy savings. There are two parts to the home energy savings. One part is directly related to structural efficiency, insulation, wrapping your ducts, cleaning your duct vents, doing some other things. There's another part of that. We've sort of woven them together in the state program. The other part of it is where we can help homeowners upgrade their appliances, the HVAC, put heat pumps in. This program, sign up for it, you get qualified on our portal. Someone human will contact you if you qualify. They'll set up an inspection. An auditor, we'll call it an auditor, will come out, look at your home, walk through there, you show them your utility bills. And on one hand, you will get enough improvements done to save 20% of your power bill, of your energy consumption. It could be that you've got a situation where a new furnace will save you that 20%. Other places, well, you may need a new furnace, a new AC, a new fridge, and a new water heater to save that 20%. So that side of it, you'll get that 20% savings. There's other parts of it where there's more focused on things like heat. They want to put more heat pumps in. They want to move people away from fossil fuels. You start on that. So you want more heat pumps put in. It will also allow people, if in Brown County, may not think of this, but these old electrical systems, I want to think about how many homes in this county still have screw-in fuses with Lincoln Penny stuck behind them, probably. Those are low efficiency. You can qualify to get a new load panel put in also. So more efficient wiring, more load balance. I don't want to go down the EE electrical engineer rabbit hole, but yeah, just balancing which pole your appliances pull off of will extend the life of utilities. Extend the life of your appliances because you don't have as much voltage drop if you've lopsided loaded and things. But both of those, hopefully we can get Brown County to get the OOR grant with ARA. You'll be able to stretch that ARA or the OOR funds that's limited to $500,000. Don't buy a hot water heater with OOR money, buy it with the home energy saver money. Do more ADA improvements, do more roof repair, do more things that each one of these programs focuses on unique things. So we need to cooperate and not do overlapping things.
Okay. The presentations Thursday, right? Tomorrow
Tomorrow night,
6 o'clock.
yeah, we'll have a meeting in this room. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Kevin, I heard that there's some difference. And you said there's state money and federal money. Is it combined?
Yes. Yes. We have the program that under the Biden administration was called, part of the money come from the U.S. Department of Energy under the Inflation Reduction Act. That got held up for a while when President Trump came in, went through the Doge microscope, found out that this is not a bad thing. It's worth the money because overall we're looking to help every homeowner, every renter, and every landlord under our program can participate in this. So if you pay a utility bill and you meet the income standard, which is 125% of the AMI, 150% of the AMI, you can get in on this in some way.
Okay, another thing was I heard that, I don't know if it's on the state side, federal side, that, or maybe both of them, I don't know.
There is an overlap, yes.
About the difference between the ARA one is basically the grant, we get the grant. When the homeowners do it and they're there so many years and don't sell, it's forgiven. But with your program, I don't know if it's, are you shaking? No?
The OOR does not, that is not a
Condition.
Thank you.
You're talking about this one?
No, the OOR grant does not have that condition you just stated.
It's forgiven though, right?
No, it's just.
It's a grant.
That qualifies as a grant that's
It's
installed.
done.
You don't have to live there for so many years or.
Okay, well, is there anything in writing that says the people already have to have the money and pay for it up front and then get reimbursed from your program?
There are some things that it's a reimbursement, but Rick Perry, who is the program manager, knows us backwards and forwards. And I would like to defer to him tomorrow night to answer that question.
That's fine.
But I'm just out here being a cheerleader for this program.
Yeah.
I was not involved in writing it.
I was trying to head off any confusion
Oh, yeah, that's why.
because the people that was gonna go with this program,
Yeah, that's a
I
good
think
question.
they're somewhat set. But under the program you're talking about, there might be some stipulations where they have to pay up front and then get reimbursed. I'm not sure though.
I'm not exactly sure where that dividing line is either. That's why I would prefer not to cause confusion by making an improper statement.
That's fine.
I will say this, with our program, there is a little background caveat is that this program that we administer, local contractors can get on our preferred list to do the work. So Nevins and Austin, Dunham Plumbing, Wheeler Electric, all those guys can get qualified and they become a preferred vendor, if you will.
Have any of them been notified?
I've notified a couple of them,
Yeah.
but we were sort of waiting to see how many folks we get lined up here and what needs to be done. But again, Rick Perry will be able to address that stuff more than I can.
Okay.
Great, thank you, Kevin. Okay, next item is the NDOT, Pumpkin Ridge Road. NDOT's working on a more modest proposal, for the road options. Probably won't have anything presented to the public till about mid-November, is my guesstimate. Kevin, we've got an executive session. I'll send an invite to you on October 31st at 1, with NDOT.
Okay.
Okay, and so we'll go over, whatever they're proposing, and we'll get back with the feedback that we've gotten from our residents and concerns we have with that one to kind of find that minimal option that they'll fund and approve.
October 31st.
October 31st. And those executive sessions are kind of close to the public because you're dealing with contractual kind of issues. And then, Dina, I got a postcard, and now that I see you, and I forgot to add that on, would you mind, do you have the date and time for that open house that they had?
I don't even with me,
Okay.
Dean and Patrick.
I said that.
Yeah, I saw you had it posted somewhere
Yeah.
for the open houses for DNR. And the one that includes Mount T is gonna be at Morgan Monroe, October 30th from 4 to 7.
That's it.
And you have the address, it's south of Martinsville, but I don't know if it's posted on their website because I gave up on it. I gave up looking for it, so.
It's a nice postcard, so I sent that out to the contacts at Pumpkin Ridge so they can
Good,
share
good.
that to residents and show up and address the concerns they had on the area.
Good, thank you.
Good. Thank you for raising that issue because Carr just reconfirmed it, so I knew what you're referring to. So thank you.
Looks like a pretty light night. Does anybody else, we down to public comments?
Yep, that's the next item.
Anybody else? Last call?
Dina, yeah.
Last call.
Dean Patrick again. Every time I come here, I'm gonna not say anything, but Mr. Clark and I had a conversation about 3 weeks ago, and one of the things we talked about was broadband in Brown County, and it seems like we pretty much have broadband under control and people have high-speed internet. And I corrected him and said, oh, no, we don't, not here in the town of Nashville. Our residential districts don't have it. Some of our commercial businesses do not have it. We are kind of stuck with AT&T or Sparklight. And I'm gonna tell you, AT&T tower down at our house this last 3 weeks. First it was out for a few days and now it's just heavily congested all the time. Even at 1 in the morning, I have to sometimes reset my box. So I don't know who in the county to maybe start working with to say, can you do something for us people that live here in town, get us some high-speed internet options?
Well, Dean, I'd start with the town first. That's kind of outside our turf. And if you recall, we'll go into history, kind of outside our turf. I'd start there. And see what plans they may have for extending that service.
And
And then-
I have to be here tomorrow night for Kevin's thing, so I can't go to town council, but the next time I can, I will.
Or at least send a written request and ask
Yeah.
for a response.
Okay.
Explain the issues and what you have available.
I'm not sure, since we're part of Brown County, you know, I know it's sort of odd being the town, but.
Sometimes we get into turf issues with the town
Yeah,
and their boundaries and
I know.
that kind of issue. And
I just wanted to put it out there. It's like, can somebody please help us?
So can you, Dina, can you say it was 8 feet? Is that,
AT&T,
that's it?
yeah. We used to have UVerse. It was called UVerse. And back in April, for residential people who had UVerse, they said, you have to switch to this Air Hub. And you don't have a choice. We're gonna cut your service off. You can go to a different provider. So they made us change to this Air Hub. Works sometimes, doesn't work sometimes, and right now with so many people in town, is what they're saying, it's too congested, it can't handle the traffic, and I thought, well, I got my old box right now, just plug it in and use it, but I can't, it won't work, so,
Unfortunately, that's not the way.
yeah, yeah.
it's interesting. I went out and asked ChatGPT on the different types of coverages we have in the county. They gave me a pretty extensive list. It's amazing on the diversity of different options people have to connect. I mean, it ranges from
Right.
DSL to AT&T to you name it. And then you have the issues by density for where people are at. So you can check them. So you might do that and compare, see if your town's represented in that.
Okay, well,
I'll provide a baseline, we validate it.
yeah. The last 3 weeks dial-up would have been better.
I miss that tone,
Yeah.
the Amazon tone, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have anything down
Yeah,
your way?
whatever.
You have anything down your way? You
I have nothing,
got nothing?
nothing.
You don't have to climb up on the telephone pole to get service? Green Acres style?
Yeah, that'd probably be how I'd have to do it if I were going to, but I don't have anything right now.
Any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mike Noga.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, anything?
Oh, nothing that.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Hey, motion.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All right.
Thank you very much.